Shalom. Before I get started, I'd like to give all honor, all glory, and all praises unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakak Radash, and double honors to the apostles and the elders and the bishops of Great Millstone, and Shalom to you, hopefully elect beloved brothers, and you few sisters. Peace be unto you in these last days, because we're truly living in the end times. And I came across this story here that I wanted to highlight. And why is that? Because likened unto Lavar Ball, he's been with his wife for 30 years, and I've been with my wife a couple of decades too as well, right? And before we delve into this story, there's a few things on my mind that I wanted to touch on very briefly, because brothers, what we have to know and understand is, in this current society, in this Babylonian kingdom, our women don't belong to us, man. Okay, all right. We'll get to enjoy our women in the kingdom, all right. But on this side, you have to know and understand, speaking firstly to myself, the women are very, they'll flake on you. They're very whimsical. They're unpredictable. They're finicky. Okay. The woman could be in love with you one day, and the next day, pack her bags and then be getting the hell up out of there. All right. And you can't be baffled when these sorts of things, if or when they happen to you. All right. And that's according to the scriptures too as well. We're going to get those scriptures momentarily, but I want to touch on this article very quickly here. And it reads, Lavar Ball reveals his wife of 30 years ended their marriage, decided to go her own way. You see, and to my understanding, as I was looking into this story, he nursed his wife, helped nurse his wife back to health after she suffered a massive stroke. But as we all know by now, if you may not be privy to the situation, the man just had his leg amputated due to diabetic issues, right? And then the woman left him, okay? And what essentially he's experiencing here are various parts of the curses from Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, the 15th verse on down, okay? All right? Now let's get into that definition of whimsical. Let me grab that very quickly. Now, whimsical is an adjective used to describe something that is playfully unusual, imaginative, or driven by sudden, unpredictable impulses rather than logic. Let's get the definition of capricious. Capricious, it describes someone or something driven by sudden, unpredictable changes in mood or behavior. Look at the synonyms here, right? It reads unpredictable, impulsive, they're fickle, they're mercurial, and whimsical. Now, let's come from this here. Let's get a scripture on that, because the scriptures tells us, and these scriptures, brothers, they are applicable not only to your wife, your mother, your grandmother, your daughter, your sister, whomever, all right? And these are all scriptures, like I said before, speaking firstly to myself, that you have to keep in mind, man, when you're dealing with the Babylonian woman, okay? The book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 26, verse 11, it reads, watch over an impudent eye meaning what? Her mind, and marvel not if she trespass against thee. I want to go to that definition of the word trespass in the etymon online, and it reads, transgress in some active manner, commit an aggressive offense, to sin, behave badly in general. And I'll jump around a little bit to get to the point. It means to pass beyond or across, to cross, traverse, infringe, to violate. You see, the scriptures tells us to not be in awe or be shocked when the woman sins against us or behaves badly or infringes or violates. Let me come from this here. And let me go to the book of Ecclesiasticus chapter 26 verse 26. And it reads, a woman that honoreth her husband shall be judged wise of all, but she that dishonoreth him in her pride shall be counted ungodly of all. You see, that's why the scriptures tells us. Let me come from this here, because I got a few shorts that I want to tie into this lesson. That's why the scriptures tells us in another place, there's no wickedness like the wickedness of a woman, you see, and let the portion of the sinner, fall upon her. But nevertheless, I want you to watch these few shorts that I have queued up for you. And per usual, I'll chime in with the scriptures momentarily.
And she's getting better every day. Tina wild as I don't know what. She the perfect woman for me though. Whatever I do, right or wrong, that girl with me. And I ain't gonna never leave that girl. I love her to death, and I couldn't have did none of this stuff without a woman like that. On the fact that she's so strong. She's getting better every time. And like I told her, I'd rather you be broken down like this and spend all the time with me than be healthy as heck and have to work every day and you don't get whatever you want. The best thing for Tina, when she first started, I said, you ain't gonna do nothing but get better. You ain't got nothing but time. You're gonna always be with me, I'm gonna be with you. So don't feel bad about yourself. You move slow, But this right here, you fine. And she getting better every day.
His wife amputated their marital vows. Ooh, that's cold-blooded.
She was always beautiful in my eyes. I had that with her. And I found somebody else. I had to get my foot amputated on the fact that I had diabetes. You know, with my wife. You know, Tina decided to go her own way. Good job. I'm proud of Tina, and I just enjoy her getting better each and every day.
He helped her get back healthy. That he had to have his leg amputated through complications from diabetes, and now she has improved her health. Life throws a hammer at you. Everyone, including your wife.
Like, I feel like we could tell how much he truly loved. He always, propped her up.
We trust Lavar. We definitely understand the love he has for Tina.
I promise you this.
Let me pause there. All right, those few shorts brought you up to speed regarding the stroke that he had, just a brief glimpse of their marriage, and then the amputation that occurred with him. But nevertheless, this is what the book of Ecclesiasticus chapter 25 verse 13 tells us, because this is what Lavar Ball is experiencing right now. Give me any plague but the plague of the heart, meaning what? The mind. You see, he's plagued at what he's experiencing now. Okay, as you can tell, it weighs heavy on him. It's weighing on his spirit too as well. And any wickedness but the wickedness of a woman. Let's come from here, right? Let's go to the book of Ecclesiasticus chapter 26 verse 25, and it reads, a shameless woman shall be counted as a dog. If you heard what the man said, the woman woke up and said, hey, I'm deciding to go my own way, and that shit's a shame there, man. But nevertheless, continuing on, but she that is shamefaced will fear the Lord. And for you hopefully like sisters out there, should you be happening to watching these videos, you're going to experience various things, but your job is to stay with your husband, and work those things out and to endure. Let's come from here. Let's go to the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 7 verse 28, because one might say, hey, you don't know the ins and outs of their marriage and what went on. Hey, I don't need to know, but what I do know, even the Apostle Paul told us, for those that are, let me just read the scripture here, but it reads, but and if thou marry, thou hast not sinned. It's not a sin to take a wife unto you. And if a virgin marry, she has not sinned. But here's the point. Nevertheless, such shall have trouble in the flesh, but I spare you that. This is why the Apostle Paul mentioned, I wish that you were like he was, meaning what? Not having a wife, not having a rib. It's not a sin to be alone either. All right, but if you do marry, trust and believe. You're going to have trouble in the flesh. All right, all sorts of things are going to happen. It's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when. But nevertheless, let me come from here. All right, first Ezra chapter 4 verse 27. It reads, many also have perished, have erred, and have sinned for women. And when these sorts of things happen to you, you can't bug out. You can't lose your mind. Right? These scriptures are here to bring us comfort. It also serves as reminders. Remember, the scriptures tell us things that are written aforetime are written for our learning, that we might have hope. All right? The scriptures are here to help us navigate through this prison sentence, this Babylonian captivity. Let me come from this here. This is the book of Micah, chapter 7, verse 5. And I'll read this in a few different translations. First in the NIV, and it reads, do not trust a neighbor. Put no confidence in a friend, even with the woman who lies in your embrace. Guard the words of your lips. Let me read it again in the New Living Translation. And it reads, don't trust anyone, not your best friend or even your wife. You see, these scriptures are here to keep us on our high guard. Okay? All right? These scriptures are likened unto a defense, in which they are. They protect us. All right? Okay? Let me come from this here. Let me come from this here. And let me go to the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 25, verse 23. And it reads, a wicked woman abideth courage, maketh an heavy countenance, and a wounded heart. You see, and this is all things that Lavar Ball is experiencing right now. A woman that will not comfort her husband in distress, maketh weak hands and feeble knees, as we saw in those videos that we just watched a moment ago. All right, and let's finish here in the book of Amos, chapter 7, verse 17, and it reads this. Thus, pardon me, therefore, thus saith the Lord, Thy wife shall be a harlot in the city. Remember the man mentioned that the woman just decided to go her own way. What do you suppose a 60-year-old woman is going to be doing now that she's single all over again? She's going to be hooking and linking up with younger men, right? But nevertheless, continuing on, and it reads, and thy sons and thy daughters shall fall by the sword, and thy land shall be divided by line, and thou shalt die in a polluted land, and Israel shall surely go into captivity forth of his land. You see, and all of these various scriptures that we read, these are all things that not only Lavar and Paul, but many other brothers are experiencing too while we're yet this day in our captivity. All right. But I hope through the spirit and the power of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai that this lesson has been edifying to the point. Keep pushing, keep believing, and keep the faith. Shalom.